I've always been fascinated by the vast worlds beneath our oceans. They're as complex as any place on Earth. Our next guests are working to revive one small part of our waters, the Long Island Sound, and they're starting to make a difference all through the practice of oyster shell recycling. From Collective Oyster Recycling and Restoration, let's say hi to Todd and Tim. Give it all. So Tim, I'm going to start with you. So you were raised on the Long Island Sound, so tell us about its history.
Yeah, so Long Island Sound has had a long history. It used to be one of the largest producers of oysters in the world. They would export them all over the place. Yeah. But, you know, like a lot of bodies of water, they struggle and have challenges. And there was decades of over-harvesting. Disease ran rapid. Oyster disease ran rapid in the 90s. And so most of the oyster population, natural oyster population, was kind of decimated. So it's about 10% of what it used to be back in the, late 1800s. Oh, so, man. They're struggling right now.
Yeah, what a lesson in taking what you need, not that you desire all the time. Yeah, for sure. So the scarcity of oysters has repercussions. So tell everybody kind of what.
Yeah, well, they have a ton of environmental benefits. So when you remove oysters out of the environment, it affects everything. So they're known as a keystone species. So they benefit a lot of other marine organisms in Long Island Sound. So you take them away and it has a
It disrupts
effect.
everything.
Yes, it disrupts everything. So they're really important that we have healthy populations out there.
Absolutely. Like, so how do you go about doing this? What is like a daily thing? Like,
so yeah, we basically, oysters, we'll start how they basically reproduce. So you have a mom oyster and a dad oyster. Yeah. They have little babies.
I feel like we're talking to my children right now about like, so what happens?
They have little babies and they swim around. They're microscopic, you can't see them, but they have to land on a hard surface to grow. They form their own shells, but they have to grow on a hard surface, and their favorite thing to grow on is old oyster shells. So like if you take a look at this here, that's a recycled shell that we planted. You can see the little babies that landed on there.
Yeah.
So they need,
I don't think I ever realized that was what was going on.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a foundation of a house. We recycle the shell, we put it in the water, and it creates a foundation for these babies to land on. We like to say we provide homes for millions of baby oysters. Yeah. So that's kind of what we do. But yeah, so you need shell to do that, and it's in scarce supply, but it's served at restaurants. So we realized that, oh my God.
There's always a demand.
Yeah, there's a demand for them, but they're throwing all the shell in the trash. So we looked around, and there were some other programs in other states, and like, why isn't this happening in Connecticut? So
instead of throwing them away, what happens?
Yep.
Well, yeah, we provide these 5-gallon buckets to restaurants, and obviously up and down the coast of Long Island Sound, and we just ask them to participate in, basically once a week. We come by, usually a Monday or Tuesday after a long weekend of them filling the buckets up, and we have a site where we dump all the oyster shells, and nature takes over with the sun and the rain, and after 6 months, they kind of white out like that, and they're safe to put back into the Sound because we don't always know where the oysters are coming from. They could be a West Coast oyster or some other body of water. We don't want to reintroduce anything bad back into the Sound.
It's a real simple process.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nature-based solution, so we're just facilitating what nature naturally does.
Right.
It's the simplest form of recycling. You just collect it, put it out in the sun, and get it back in the water.
Well, Bumblebee Seafoods is on a mission to provide nutritious, environmentally sustainable, and affordable seafood, and they love the work that you're doing to help protect the ocean's resources through CORR's initiatives. So they're donating $5,000
Oh
just
my
to pitch
God.
in. And it's so simple. It's such a beautiful thing to get the communities that want the oysters to actually be recycling them.
And we need all the help we can get, and that really helps. We're grant funded, so any donations and stuff like that are amazing. So that is amazing.
Where should people go if they want to donate? If they can volunteer, they donate money, whatever they can do. Where should they go?
They can go to our website
at www.corr-ct.org, and we have QR codes. We have everywhere. We ask for money a lot on there, but you have to, because that's kind of the life of a nonprofit. You're just always hoping you get that next year in there.
I think it's brilliant too. You're keeping the community involved. The community that is actually eating the oysters is like, okay, you're taking from it. Can you help us give back?
And we have these tabletop buckets where we always say it's nice where you eat it, and you are part of the recycling process by putting the oyster in our little tabletop bucket. And then we're ultimately going to get that onto our pile. So they are actively recycling.
This year we'll probably reach over 1 million pounds of shell recycled.
Oh my God!
In 3 years. So and
we pick that all up ourselves.
Yeah, you're incredible.
I'm tired.
Are you so strong? Are you so?
Sometimes
my arms feel like I fall off a lot of the time.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's me after one day at Pilates. I'm like, I know it's good for you.